While you were celebrating Christmas, something happened in the silver market that most traders completely missed. China announced export restrictions starting January 1st, 2026. That's in 5 days. Most commodity traders won't return from holiday until January 2nd. They're going to walk into a completely different market. On December 24th, physical silver in Shanghai traded at $78.49 per ounce. Paper silver in New York traded at $70, an $8 premium for actual metal. That kind of premium only appears when there's a physical shortage, and the shortage hasn't even officially started yet. This is the observer effect in real time. Let's rewind to October 2024. China's Ministry of Commerce quietly announced new export controls on silver, tungsten, and antimony starting January 1st, 2026. The announcement came when everyone was focused on rare earth negotiations with the United States. The new rules are devastating. If you want to export silver from China, you need a government-issued export license. To qualify, your company must produce at least 80 tons of silver annually. This locks out smaller producers and gives the Chinese government complete control over who exports and how much. Here's the critical context. China doesn't just produce silver, it refines and processes most of the world's supply. We're talking about 60 to 70% of global silver flowing through Chinese operations. When China implements export controls, it's not just about Chinese mined silver, it's about the entire global supply chain. They've done this before. In 2024, China restricted exports of rare earths, tungsten, and antimony. Each time, prices spiked. Each time, Western markets scrambled. Each time, China tightened its grip on critical materials. Silver is next, and it starts in 5 days. How do we know this is real? The physical market is already screaming. On December 24th, the Shanghai Gold Exchange closed at $78.49 per ounce. That's where actual physical silver trades for immediate delivery. That same day, COMEX silver futures in New York traded around $70. Those are mostly paper contracts, not physical metal. $8 premium, same metal, same day. In normal markets, this doesn't happen. Arbitrage traders would buy cheap in New York and sell expensive in Shanghai until prices converge. But they're not. Why? Because you can't easily get physical silver out of China anymore. The restrictions haven't officially started, but the market is already behaving like the metal is trapped. An $8 premium on a $70 commodity is massive. That's over 11%. It signals one thing: more demand for real metal than supply available. Now look at Shanghai Futures Exchange warehouse stocks. In November, silver inventories fell below 500 tons, the lowest level in 10 years. China's own industrial demand is consuming everything: solar panels, electronics, 5G infrastructure. All of it needs silver, and China makes most of it. The country imported record amounts in October, over 660 tons just to feed its own factories, then announced export restrictions 6 weeks later. They're stockpiling. Why is silver suddenly strategic? Because it's not just money anymore, it's technology. The Silver Institute projects industrial demand at 665 million ounces in 2025. Solar panels alone will consume 200 million ounces. Electric vehicles will use 90 million ounces. Electronics, 5G networks, medical devices, all depend on silver's unique properties. It's the most conductive metal on Earth. The silver market has been in supply deficit for 6 consecutive years. We're consuming more than we're mining. Above-ground stockpiles are depleting, and now China is turning off the export tap. This isn't China being difficult. This is China recognizing that silver is critical for the technologies that will dominate the next 30 years. Solar energy, electric transportation, advanced electronics. All of it runs on silver. By restricting exports, China ensures its own manufacturers have priority access. Western manufacturers will compete for whatever silver makes it out, if any does, and pay premium prices. Here's where the timing gets fascinating. December 23rd through January 1st is traditionally dead in commodity markets. Most institutional traders, hedge funds, and major banks shut down for holidays. The markets are technically open, but volume is thin and nobody's making big moves. China announced these restrictions in October, but the implementation date is January 1st, right in the middle of the holiday shutdown. By the time traders return on January 2nd, restrictions will already be in effect. They'll log in and see Shanghai trading with a massive premium. They'll see export licenses required, they'll see warehouse stocks at 10-year lows, and they'll realize the entire structure of the global silver market just changed while they were on vacation. This is not an accident. China consistently implements major policy changes during Western holiday periods. It minimizes immediate market reaction and gives them time to establish the new normal before Western markets can respond. Right now, two completely different observations are creating two completely different realities. Observation 1. The paper market. COMEX futures trade at $70. Plenty of contracts available. Everything looks normal. Banks and traders assume they can get silver whenever needed by buying a futures contract and taking delivery. Observation 2. The physical market. Shanghai trades at $78. Export licenses required. Warehouse stocks at decade lows. Physical buyers are scrambling because they know the metal is becoming unavailable. Both observations looking at the same commodity, but seeing completely different realities. This is the observer effect in action. The way you observe the market determines the reality you experience. Paper traders see abundance. Physical buyers see scarcity. Only one of these observations will survive. When export restrictions fully kick in and physical supply tightens, the paper market will have to reconcile with physical reality. That reconciliation typically happens through price. The question every trader should ask, which observation is correct? The paper market saying everything's fine, or the physical market paying an $8 premium because it knows what's coming? January 1st, 2026, China's silver export licensing begins. January 2nd, 2026. Traders return from holiday. The setup is complete. The timing is perfect. The physical market is already responding, and most of the world has no idea this is happening. But this is just the beginning. What happens when you cut off 60% of the world's silver supply doesn't stop at commodity prices. It cascades into everything silver touches, and silver touches everything.